Which is better to end the company, liquidation or strike off? Well, when we're talking about liquidation, I'm talking predominantly about voluntary liquidation. I'm not talking about the court process for winding up a company. So we're really comparing voluntary liquidation with strike off. Ultimately, it's going to depend on the facts of the case. If you have got a solvent company, there may be tax advantages for going into what's known as members voluntary liquidation as opposed to going down the strike-off route. If the company is insolvent, ultimately the strike-off procedure may not work because creditors may object and effectively turn the company, that may turn the company into a sort of quasi-zombie company which sits on the register for months and in some cases years, where you will still have the obligation to file confirmation statements, accounts, corporation tax returns and so on, even if there's a dormant position and there's nothing much happening. And even when those documents are relatively easy to bat out, if you're not familiar with them, they can potentially be a compliance burden to you and they can potentially be costly, depending on what your setup is, which accountants you use, etc. But strike-off does not always work in the case of an insolvent company because the creditors can object. There are going to be certain instances where you've got employees, where there are assets in the company, even if the company is insolvent, where the strike-off procedure may very well be totally unsuitable as the way forward. It very much going to depend on the facts of the case, which is why you need to take independent professional advice from somebody like myself, a licensed insolvency practitioner, and then you can then determine which way is going to work. Common is we see with people with bounce back loans, for example, they're attempting to strike off the company and it gets immediately objected to by the bank or the relevant government department, and so on. Questions, queries, concerns, give us a shout. We know insolvency inside out.